Shalom, my friends. Today, I'm going to reveal to you 3 hacks that will supercharge your wealth using an account that most people completely misunderstand. This account has a triple tax advantage that no other account can match. It's available to regular people like you and me, and yet most people either don't have it or they're using it completely wrong. The account I'm talking about is a health savings account, or HSA. And when you use it correctly, it becomes the single most powerful wealth-building tool available to you. More powerful than a 401k. More powerful than a Roth IRA. More powerful than any other tax-advantaged account. But here's what most people don't know. An HSA is not just a savings account for medical expenses. It's an investment account. It's a retirement account. It's a wealth-building machine. And if you use the 3 hacks I'm about to share with you, you can turn your HSA into hundreds of thousands, even over $1 million of tax-free wealth. Today I'm going to explain to you what an HSA is, why it's so powerful, and the 3 hacks that will multiply your wealth. And I'm going to connect this to ancient Jewish wisdom about health, about stewardship, about planning for the future. But first, let me tell you why an HSA is so special. An HSA is the only account that gives you a triple tax advantage. Let me explain what that means. Tax advantage number 1. Any money you contribute to an HSA is tax deductible. If you make $100,000 and you contribute $5,000 to your HSA, you only pay taxes on $95,000. This is the same benefit you get from a traditional IRA or 401k. Tax advantage number 2. Any money you withdraw from your HSA for qualified medical expenses is tax-free. You don't pay taxes on the way out. This is the same benefit you get from a Roth IRA. Tax advantage number 3. Any growth on your HSA investments is tax-free. You can invest your HSA dollars in stocks, bonds, index funds, and let them grow for decades. And all that growth is completely tax-free if you use it for medical expenses. No other account gives you all 3 of these benefits. A traditional IRA gives you a tax deduction going in, but you pay taxes coming out. A Roth IRA is tax-free coming out, but you don't get a deduction going in. But an HSA gives you both, plus tax-free growth. This is why I call it the ultimate wealth-building account. And now, let me give you the 3 hacks that will supercharge your HSA. Hack number 1. Invest your HSA dollars. Don't just save them. Most people treat their HSA like a savings account. They contribute money, it sits there earning 0.5% interest, and they use it to pay for medical expenses. This is a huge mistake. You're leaving hundreds of thousands of dollars on the table. Instead, you should invest your HSA dollars in index funds and let them grow over decades. Let me show you the difference. Meet Eric the Saver. Eric contributes the maximum to his HSA every year for 30 years. For a family, that's about $8,300 per year in 2025. He leaves the money in the savings account earning minimal interest. After 30 years, assuming no medical expenses, Eric has about $370,000 in his HSA. That's pretty good. Now meet Eric the Investor. Eric makes the same contributions, but he invests his HSA dollars in index funds, earning an average of 7% per year. After 30 years, Eric the Investor has about $900,000 in his HSA. That's $530,000 more than Eric the Saver. Same contributions, different strategy, massive difference in wealth. This is the power of investing your HSA. You're not just saving for medical expenses, you're building wealth. You're creating a tax-free investment account that will compound for decades. Hack number 2. Don't use your HSA for medical expenses. Pay out of pocket instead. I know this sounds crazy. It's called a health savings account. Why wouldn't you use it for health expenses? But hear me out. Every time you withdraw money from your HSA to pay for medical expenses, you're stopping that money from growing. You're killing the compound interest. You're reducing your future wealth. Instead, if you can afford it, pay for your medical expenses out of pocket and leave your HSA invested. Let me show you the math. Let's say Eric has $2,000 in medical expenses per year. If Eric the saver uses his HSA to pay for these expenses, after 30 years he has about $310,000 in his HSA. Still good. But Eric the investor pays the $2,000 out of pocket and leaves his HSA invested. After 30 years, he still has $900,000 in his HSA. That's $590,000 more than Eric the saver. Just that first $2,000 that Eric paid out of pocket in year one, if left invested at 7% for 30 years, grows to over $15,000. That's the power of compound interest. That's the power of leaving your HSA invested. Now I know what you're thinking. Rabbi, I can't afford to pay for medical expenses out of pocket. I need to use my HSA. And that's okay. If you need to use your HSA, use it. There's no shame in that. But if you can afford to pay out of pocket, even for some of your expenses, do it. Leave as much as possible invested. Your future self will thank you. Hack number 3. Save your receipts and reimburse yourself decades later. This is the hack that feels like cheating, but it's completely legal. Here's how it works. When you pay for medical expenses out of pocket, save the receipts. Keep them organized, keep them safe. Because here's the secret. You can reimburse yourself from your HSA for any medical expense that occurred while you had your HSA, no matter how long ago. So let's go back to Eric the investor. He paid $2,000 per year out of pocket for 30 years. That's $60,000 total. He saved all his receipts. Now he's 65 years old. His HSA has $900,000 in it. Guess what he can do? He can reimburse himself for all $60,000 of those expenses, completely tax-free. He pulls out $60,000 from his HSA, pays no taxes, and he still has $840,000 left. Meanwhile, Eric the saver, who used his HSA all along, only has $310,000. That's a difference of over $500,000. This is the magic of the HSA. You pay expenses out of pocket, you let the money grow tax-free for decades, and then you reimburse yourself tax-free in retirement. It's like having a secret stash of tax-free money that you can access anytime. And here's the bonus. Once you turn 65, you can use your HSA for anything, not just medical expenses. If you use it for non-medical expenses, you pay regular income tax, but no penalty. It essentially becomes like a traditional IRA, but with more flexibility because there are no required minimum distributions. So, you have $840,000 in your HSA at age 65. You can use it for medical expenses tax-free. You can reimburse yourself for past expenses tax-free. Or you can use it for anything else and just pay regular income tax. You have complete flexibility. This is why the HSA is the ultimate wealth-building account. It's not just for medical expenses, it's a retirement account. It's a wealth-building machine. Now, let me connect this to the Torah. Because this strategy is not just about building wealth. It's about stewardship. It's about wisdom. It's about planning for the future. In the book of Proverbs, King Solomon writes, "The wise store up choice food and olive oil, but fools gulp theirs down." This is the principle of delayed gratification. Don't consume everything now. Store up for the future. Build wealth that will compound over time. This is exactly what you're doing with an HSA. You're storing up wealth. You're delaying gratification. You're paying medical expenses out of pocket now so that you can have tax-free wealth in the future. In the Torah, Joseph advised Pharaoh to save during the 7 years of plenty so that Egypt would be prepared for the 7 years of famine. This is the principle of planning ahead. You save when times are good so that you're prepared when times are tough. Your HSA is your storehouse. It's your preparation for the future. Medical expenses increase as you age. Healthcare costs are one of the biggest expenses in retirement. By building a large HSA now, you're preparing for those future expenses. You're creating a buffer. You're giving yourself options. In the Talmud, there is a teaching. Who is wise? He who foresees the future. The wise person doesn't just live for today, they plan for tomorrow. They anticipate future needs and prepare accordingly. This is what you're doing with an HSA. You're being wise. You're foreseeing the future. You're preparing for the medical expenses that will inevitably come as you age. But here's what's important. In Jewish tradition, health is sacred. Your body is a temple. You have a responsibility to take care of it. In the Talmud it says, "One who is ill and refuses to seek medical help is considered a sinner." So, using an HSA is not just about building wealth. It's about honoring your responsibility to take care of your health. You're setting aside money specifically for medical expenses. You're preparing to take care of yourself and your family. You're being a good steward of the body God gave you. And here's the beautiful thing. By using these 3 hacks, you're doing both. You're taking care of your health and you're building wealth. You're being responsible and you're being wise. You're honoring your body and you're honoring your financial future. Now let me give you the practical steps for implementing these hacks. Step 1. Make sure you have a high-deductible health plan so that you're eligible for an HSA. Check with your employer or your health insurance provider. If you're not eligible now, consider switching during open enrollment. Step 2. Open an HSA if you don't have one. Most employers offer HSAs through providers like Fidelity, Health Equity, or Optum. If your employer doesn't offer one, you can open one on your own. Step 3. Contribute the maximum every year. For 2025, the limit is $4,300 for individuals and $8,550 for families. If you're over 55, you can contribute an extra $1,000 as a catch-up contribution. Step 4. Invest your HSA dollars. Don't leave them sitting in a savings account. Invest in low-cost index funds like the S&P 500. Let them grow over decades. Step 5. Pay for medical expenses out of pocket if you can afford it. Leave your HSA invested. Let it compound. Step 6. Save all your medical receipts. Keep them organized. You can use apps like Evernote or Google Drive to scan and store them. These receipts are your ticket to tax-free reimbursements in the future. Step 7. In retirement, use your HSA strategically. Reimburse yourself for past expenses tax-free. Use it for current medical expenses tax-free. Or use it for anything else and pay regular income tax. If you follow these 7 steps, you will build massive tax-free wealth. You will have hundreds of thousands of dollars available for medical expenses, for retirement, for whatever you need. Let me give you one final example that brings all of this together. Meet Sarah. She's 35 years old. She opens an HSA and contributes the maximum for a family, $8,550 per year. She invests it in index funds, earning 7% per year. She pays all her medical expenses out of pocket, about $3,000 per year, and saves all her receipts. She does this for 30 years until she's 65. At that point, her HSA has grown to about $850,000. She paid $90,000 out of pocket for medical expenses over those 30 years. Now, she can reimburse herself for all $90,000 tax-free. She still has $760,000 left in her HSA. Compare this to her friend Rachel, who also contributed the maximum to her HSA, but used it to pay for medical expenses along the way. Rachel has about $300,000 in her HSA at age 65. Sarah has $760,000. Rachel has $300,000. That's a difference of $460,000. Same contributions, different strategy, massive difference in wealth. This is the power of the 3 HSA hacks. This is the power of investing, of delaying gratification, of planning for the future. So here's my challenge to you. If you don't have an HSA, get one. If you have one but you're not investing it, start investing it today. If you're using it for medical expenses, start paying out of pocket if you can afford it, and save your receipts. This one decision, this one strategy, can add hundreds of thousands of dollars to your wealth. It can give you financial security in retirement. It can give you peace of mind, knowing that you're prepared for future medical expenses. Remember the words of King Solomon. The wise store up choice food and olive oil, but fools gulp theirs down. Be wise, store up, build wealth, plan for the future. Shalom. And may you be blessed with the wisdom to use your HSA wisely, and the health to enjoy the wealth you build. Now, I want to address some common questions and concerns about HSAs, and give you some additional strategies that will maximize your benefits. Question 1. What if I can't afford to max out my HSA contributions? Contribute what you can. Even if you can only contribute $1,000 or $2,000 per year, that's better than nothing. Over 30 years at 7% growth, $2,000 per year becomes over $200,000. That's significant wealth. Don't let perfect be the enemy of good. Start where you are and increase your contributions as your income grows. Question 2. What if I have a medical emergency and I need to use my HSA? Use it. That's what it's there for. The 3 hacks I shared are optimal strategies for those who can afford to pay out of pocket. But if you can't, use your HSA without guilt. It's still a tax-advantaged account. You're still getting benefits. You're still better off than not having an HSA at all. Question 3. What happens to my HSA if I change jobs or health insurance? Your HSA is yours. It's portable. It stays with you even if you change jobs or health insurance. The only requirement is that you must have a high-deductible health plan to continue contributing. But the money you've already contributed stays yours forever. Question 4. What if I go on Medicare? Once you enroll in any part of Medicare, you can no longer contribute to your HSA. But the money you've already saved is still yours. You can still use it tax-free for medical expenses. And here's a tip. If you're planning to work past 65, you can delay Medicare enrollment and continue contributing to your HSA. This can be a powerful strategy if you're still building your HSA balance. Question 5. What are qualified medical expenses? The list is extensive. It includes doctor visits, prescriptions, dental care, vision care, mental health services, medical equipment, and much more. You can even use it for things like acupuncture, chiropractors, and certain over-the-counter medications. The IRS publishes a full list in Publication 502. I recommend reviewing it because you might be surprised at what qualifies. Now, let me give you some advanced strategies for maximizing your HSA. Advanced strategy number 1. Use your HSA as a stealth IRA. If you're maxing out your 401k and IRA contributions, and you still have money to save, max out your HSA. Even if you plan to use it for medical expenses eventually, it's still a tax-advantaged account. And because there are no required minimum distributions, you have more flexibility than with a traditional IRA. Some people call this the stealth IRA strategy. You contribute to your HSA, invest it, let it grow, and then use it in retirement for medical expenses or for anything else after age 65. It's an additional retirement account that most people overlook. Advanced strategy number 2. Front-load your HSA contributions. If you can afford it, contribute the maximum to your HSA at the beginning of the year instead of spreading it out over the year. This gives your money more time to grow. The difference might seem small, but over decades it adds up. For example, if you contribute $8,550 at the beginning of the year instead of $712.50 per month, and it grows at 7%, after 30 years, you'll have about $50,000 more. That's the power of giving your money more time to compound. Advanced strategy number 3. Coordinate your HSA with your other retirement accounts. Think of your HSA as part of your overall retirement strategy. You have different buckets of money: pre-tax, traditional IRA, 401k, tax-free, Roth IRA, HSA, and taxable, brokerage accounts. In retirement, you can strategically withdraw from different buckets to minimize taxes. For example, you might take some income from your traditional IRA, some from your Roth IRA, and use your HSA for medical expenses. This gives you maximum flexibility to control your tax bracket and avoid IRMA surcharges on Medicare. Advanced strategy number 4. Use your HSA for long-term care expenses. Most people don't know this, but you can use your HSA tax-free for long-term care insurance premiums up to certain limits based on your age. You can also use it for long-term care services like nursing home care, home health care, and assisted living. Long-term care is one of the biggest expenses in retirement, often costing $100,000 per year or more. Having a large HSA can provide a tax-free source of funds for these expenses, giving you and your family peace of mind. Advanced strategy number 5. Pass your HSA to your spouse, tax-free. If you die and your spouse is the beneficiary of your HSA, they inherit it tax-free and it becomes their HSA. They can continue to use it for medical expenses tax-free. This is a powerful estate planning tool. However, if your beneficiary is not your spouse, they inherit the account, but it becomes taxable income to them in the year of your death. So make sure your spouse is the primary beneficiary if you want to maximize the tax benefits. Now, let me share with you a deeper principle from the Torah that connects to all of this. In the book of Deuteronomy, Moses tells the Israelites, "See, I have set before you today life and prosperity, death and adversity. Choose life, that you and your descendants may live. This is a command to choose life, to choose health, to choose prosperity. It's not just a spiritual command, it's a practical command. You have a responsibility to take care of your health, to plan for your future, to make wise decisions that will benefit you and your family. Using an HSA is a way of choosing life. You're setting aside money for your health. You're preparing for future medical expenses. You're taking responsibility for your well-being. This is not just financial planning. This is honoring the gift of life that God has given you. In the Talmud, there is a teaching, your health comes first. Before you give to charity, before you help others, before you do anything else, you must take care of your own health, because if you're not healthy, you can't fulfill your purpose, you can't help others, you can't make a difference in the world. This is why an HSA is so important. It's not just about building wealth, it's about prioritizing your health. It's about making sure you have the resources to take care of yourself, so that you can continue to fulfill your purpose for decades to come. And here's the beautiful paradox. When you prioritize your health, when you plan wisely, when you build wealth through an HSA, you actually have more resources to help others. You're not a burden on your family. You're not dependent on others. You're self-sufficient. And from that position of strength, you can be generous, you can give, you can make a difference. In the book of Proverbs, King Solomon writes, "A generous person will prosper. Whoever refreshes others will be refreshed." But you can only be generous if you're in a position to give. You can only refresh others if you're not depleted yourself. An HSA helps you stay strong. It helps you stay healthy. It helps you stay financially secure. And from that position, you can be a blessing to others. Let me give you one final story that illustrates the power of planning ahead for health expenses. In the Torah, there's a story about King Hezekiah. He became deathly ill, and the prophet Isaiah told him to put his house in order because he was going to die. But Hezekiah prayed to God, and God healed him and gave him 15 more years of life. During those 15 years, Hezekiah did great things. He strengthened Jerusalem. He built water systems. He prepared the nation for future challenges. He used the extra time God gave him wisely. But here's the question. What if Hezekiah had planned ahead? What if he had prepared for the possibility of illness? What if he had set aside resources for his health? This is what an HSA allows you to do. You're planning ahead. You're preparing for the possibility of illness. You're setting aside resources so that when health challenges come, and they will come, you're ready. You're not caught off guard. You're not financially devastated. You're prepared. And if you stay